Hello everybody! Before we actually dive into 2024, I need to mention the real ending, the 2023 year review, because I didn't have the script for December prepared at all with all the work and everything going on. And I completely forgot to mention some important things, which I'll discuss here. So on December 3rd, it marks the day of my grandfather passing away from old age. No assault, no disease, none like that. He just died peacefully in his chair with his cowboy movie on TV. Lived to be 83 years old, and we got to see him one more time on Thanksgiving, where the entire family, as well as my girlfriend that day, we all got to come over, so that was pretty cool. You got to see her for the first time and last time, and that day is the most I could recall seeing him smiling in all my life. In January this year, we went to his funeral and got to say parting words. I was so happy with myself that Mr. Shapiro taught me all he did with the death of Ivan Ilyich and Tuesdays with Morrie. Because every Sunday I didn't have work, I came with my mom to see old Pops. No hesitation. And I could happily say I have no regrets. Rest in peace, that tough guy. And I'm sorry for rushing last year's year review and missing you. October is my mom's birthday. Just a little detail there. Kind of missed that we had a sweet moment with the whole family. And even the dogs pulling up to the beach and watching the sunrise. Nothing had gone wrong. We all got up in time to see it. Pretty blessed morning, and we got mom her nice little birthday gift of just watching the sunrise. Nothing bad happening. That was pretty good. And the second was what happened on Christmas and the actual gifts. My girlfriend got me this cute little sketchbook. Then for our 1-year anniversary on the 28th, we went to the mall and reenacted our first date when we got back together. And I found a really cool surprise in one of the areas we browsed around. It was a Chicken Nugget 2024 calendar, and it was the only one left. I don't feel all too comfortable paying online, so this was a perfect opportunity for me to just get this in person, and it was the last one. I don't know what this was doing here, but lucky me, dude. And I think me and my darling were able to have a sleepover. And yeah, that about officially concludes 2023. That's the real ending. The good ending. Now venturing on to 2024, there wasn't too much that happened off rip since I still had 2023 year review to wrap up, and I was unhealthily addicted to Dead by Daylight, playing it for as many hours as I could on a no work day. So yeah, we tossed time management completely out the window for that one. January 12th, the Tortured One comic. This was a rabbit hole. I stayed up hours late to read everything on it because I just happened to be on TikTok real quick before going to bed, like most of us do. I just wanted to see my one notification, and it was your boy Chris just sending me that. Interestingly, it's our first mention of the year here, but I just had to mention this since nothing else really happened yet, and this comic was just so deep and had me up so late. I was just flabbergasted the whole time. There's so many twists and turns. It was quite a treat to stay up and read. Jeez. But anyways, I stayed up for a full all-nighter on the 18th just to drive my bros to an airport for wrestling or something. I ended up staying awake the whole night and just playing more Dead by Daylight because I had a little too much caffeine in me to make it back awake. And I asked my mom when she woke up to help me record something goofy I was ready to do. Alright, I had a crazy idea. I'm gonna smash this ice up with the sledgehammer. See how it goes? Yeah. Now on January 26th, I did something really cool for the first time on Dead by Daylight. I was run a killer for 5 whole gens. Yes, I'm throwing this in the year review. And yes, it felt amazing to have done that for the first time. Alongside a nice little heal tech denying the Billy any kill whatsoever. I felt like a Dead by Daylight pro when I reached this point, because I've never done that before. That was a first. That was pretty cool. And as much as I feel like I want to somehow put more stuff in, I really can't. That really is about it for the first month here. Not too much. February 5th, one of the last days I recall being on the register, and ever since I've been a clerk at my work, although I mentioned this since we hit the new highest record spent on groceries. And since I don't think I'm ever going back to cashier, the score isn't getting any higher than this. So $753.17 is our new and last highest spent record I've ever seen in my career. February 16th, this is a really embarrassing thing to say and come out and share, but hey, you know, see a review. I could totally hide this, but I could also just leave this in my memory forever and let future me feel ashamed anytime I look back at this. But it was 1:25 in the morning. I was driving back from New Orleans or something with my sis, somewhere really far away. We were down there in fear of losing our mom or her becoming seriously injured from her fragile body after a recent surgery. Something was hurting and she was really scared, so like, me, Dad, Joanna drove all the way down there to go see her because they were again with like a wrestling thing, but she had pain going on. It was not fun, so we drove down to make sure everything was all good. And that same night I was able to go back home on my own since I can drive, thankfully, and my sister wanted to come with me because she didn't want to be stuck down there either. Not really much room to sleep, so at the very end of the trip I was well, I drove all the way home. Bit of music going just to keep myself awake. I felt pumped. I was not falling asleep anytime soon. But at the very end, I got a little too excited because I realized it was completely empty. There was not a soul anywhere to be seen. I was on that highway driving past like the Bridgewater Raritan Diner and no one was there at all. It was like literally a wasteland. It was that dead. So no one was there and I decided to zoom by, nearly touching 100 miles because I thought it'd be fun. So for quick context, I just wanted to enjoy a quick moment and just be fast. For just a moment. Just a moment. Yeah, I slowed down for a bit as soon as I like touched 100, but my dumbass. So I was slowing down to calm myself towards the exit we normally take, but that's when I noticed a car in my rearview mirror, and all of a sudden it was like, wait, how's this car up my ass? No one was here. Where did it come from? Wait, no way, that's a cop, right? And then as soon as I say that in my mind, boom, there's a light we went under and I could see him better, and yeah, it's just a cop car now flashing its lights and my fucking heart drops. That was really embarrassing to just have done that and then get caught doing that. It's never left my mind, and I obviously shouldn't have done that, and I haven't done anything like that since then. My past self really wanted to enjoy super high speed, just real quick, while nobody else was on the highway at all. So I'm basically saying I wanted to enjoy a moment, a really stupid one, but a moment's a moment, just going fast for a moment to know how it feels when there's no risk. Seemingly. Luckily for me though, I got off super easy and I was let off with just a warning. Since I was about an hour of waiting, the cop's computer or dashboard or something, it just wasn't working. So he gave us the okay to leave, and I haven't taken that moment for granted once. Next on the 20th we got some fast snow and my god. I happened to be awake at 4 AM because of course I was, and I stepped outside and I was met with this instant bliss. The outside looked so beautiful. And it was dead quiet out, no cars on the highway next to us or nothing, just absolute silence. I walked out to the middle of my yard and stood there playing One Heart Snowfall track while it like lightly snowed and there was already a few feet on the ground. Oh my god, beautiful, bro. 100 out of 10 moment I might never have again. It was so nice. And later that day I had work and stuff, but I said, hey, f it, might be the last day. So I decided to take my girlfriend out in Votech to study ride. I think it was Votech, but it's a school I haven't been to since like 4th grade. I remember playing Lego Star Wars Revenge of the Sith with my bro. You know, the most stressful moment of a kid's life. But us wanting to play more, Dad was like, hey, let's go sleigh riding to this one place. And we were like, okay, fine. So now here I was back again for the first time in many, many years with my girlfriend. It was just 2 hours long, but it was absolutely worth it. Best place to go sleigh riding near me, at least because the hills are so big and very steep at some angles. When we got there, we were about to enjoy some still snowy bits, but most of it kind of turned to mud by then because of all the other families there, unfortunately. We were a little late to the party, but it was alright. Roscoe! Oh my god. Dude, shut the fuck up. Yeah, we still had the best time, and I'm happy she felt like the happiest girlfriend in the world to have been able to do this for the first time in 7 years. Like, I could feel her inner child's joy every time we went down, cheered, hugged, and climbed back up the hill together. It was so cute. She also requested right before we go to dance a little bit, and it was like, well, that's the only chance we had, so yeah. A little snow dancing, just because. And last thing, was so close to getting all the way down while standing up on the board. Like, I have these, like, little orange boards. I was trying to get down standing up. It took a few attempts, but the closest I did was just right before I got to the bottom. I was so close I couldn't do it. Maybe next year, though. If there's snow next year, please God. Then going into the night, of course, I'm up late again, but it was worth it. Eris was on Dead by Daylight for the first time, Sully and J-Dog and I got to play against this doctor, which I want the 1v1 for gens or something, because as you imagine, he is complete ass. Respectfully. No, imagine trying to beat 2 gens while this man's chasing you around. Probably wouldn't be too hard. No, actually, I wonder what a 1v1 chase with him and my girlfriend would be like. Bro, we need Eris to 1v1 my girlfriend right now. I bet you'd clap him. Finally, for the last hour at like 3 AM, I somehow ended up playing Among Us with my brother for some time. That was a great blast from the past, kind of like 2020 again. We helped each other out and got imposter a few times, lucky us. The only game I nearly vividly remember was a shapeshifter match. It was one of our last matches I had where I ended up giving the win by voting myself because I felt a little bad cheating and having an easy win. I could have, and W bro for trying to back me up anyway, but I decided to be fair there. Not that it really mattered, but I decided to be fair. Why not? But then the host was salty as hell and accused me of being a hacker, and I got banned, saying that I was changing colors too fast. Yeah, so the funny thing, he's the guy that made the settings so low for me to just abuse in the first place, and he thought I was cheating. Man, what? But after some good times in life, you have to face the bad times too. February 23rd, after not seeing an old face for nearly a week, I talked to my coworker Tony and learned that Joyce, a sweet grandmother figure to us, I worked behind the register and recently worked behind customer service, had passed away. She was sick from the cold air blowing into the front of the store so much, and on top of that, she contracted cancer too. Stage fucking 4 cancer. She was always a little stubborn and for some reason hesitant to go see a doctor. It would have helped surely, but who knows. Without any treatment, COVID and cancer hit her old body like a fucking truck. It wasn't the same around work for a while without her, and all of us that knew her missed her. We still miss her to this day. And she brought us so many smiles. She was the real one who taught me all I knew about the register and helped me out when I was brand new around that department, this job, you know. Rest in peace to one of the sweetest, most kindest old ladies that could have worked there. She will forever be missed by all who knew her. And just when you thought things couldn't get worse, yeah, they did. A couple days later, February 28th, I woke up at like 4:48 in the morning or something. I think that's the time I logged, to the sound of mom and dad shouting about something and having this big argument, and Joanna was crying, I think speaking as well, being involved. And then what I learned later was she didn't keep her shit protected. So when she left her room to go pee in the night, Lucy dug in her open bag and found that good shit, some weed, and consumed it. Hey, wait, what was it? It was like 20 milligrams of edibles at least. It was something massive, especially considering her small size, and she needed to be taken to a vet. So she also helped herself to like 3 chocolate chip cookies the size of my hand. Yeah, that's so great, guys. We almost lost Lucy, the dog my sister wanted the most, because she couldn't give a shit to watch her or better protect her belongings for once. Like, I've been walking this dog majority of the time and taking care of her physically. Sorry to call you out like this, but it's just so absurd and frustrating how little I barely cared about her these last 2 years, and now have her almost killed just through more carelessness. I mean, like, as of August to me, working on this script, you know, I could say Joanna's been more consistent with walking Lucy and watching her, though this incident back then did have me pretty heated and worth talking about. But Lucy survived at least, and after some time her release was perfectly fine again. Big shoutouts to my girlfriend for dropping nearly $200 to pay off the rest of the massive bill and get her puppy back sooner rather than later. Like, I didn't ask for this dog, but damn it, I've grown pretty attached to her, and it's really sad knowing she almost went out like this. That would have been fucking tragic. And again, shoutouts to my girlfriend. We didn't have the full bill paid off, and we didn't pay it off that day. We would have been charged another day, so shout out to my girl for dropping nearly $200. After all that, we went into March a little somber, not just after everything, but because this was the last time, March 2nd, that we stepped foot in Poppy's house. He died, wow, that stutter there was. He died back in early December, as I mentioned at the start, and here we were with Mom's sister to claim whatever we wanted and see the house one more time. I went everywhere and did everything like little me would have. Just went to the spots and replayed it all in my head. The times I went up those long weird stairs, hide out in the bathroom closet and spook my brother, or sometimes I guess talk to ghosts. I don't know why I'd go in there and hang out by myself a lot, but at times like little me did because little me could, I guess. I don't know. Then also his bedroom, which in recent years has a new bed that Pop's never used. I remember the old one has just enough space for me to crawl through. It's like this little tunnel underneath the headspace that was pretty cool, and sometimes I'd just crawl in the middle and chill there. I was obviously a weird kid, but you know, I like that for some reason. But all those memories and heading outside, seeing the backyard hit the hardest, I think. I hadn't been back there in so long, even with all the times I paid Poppy a visit, and it was kind of sad to see. Everything had changed. The red wooden fence there, completely torn away from most of it, like barely any of it remained. The statue so old and ruined. The water fountain just non-existent anymore. It wasn't there, completely gone. And the 2 poles me and bro would used to try and climb as little kids as like a competition, see who gets to the top the fastest, completely gone. The yard felt so much bigger as a small kid, but standing there at that moment as a grown adult now was just so different. It was so small and just sad that it is. Whoa. After all was said and done, we let all those feelings go, and my mom had one more good cry, leaving the house she had grown up in all her childhood. With one more whispered goodbye, we got in the car, took off, never to look back again. That's dramatic. Someone bought the house though, and there's a family chilling in there now, hopefully not being haunted by Poppy and his wife. Ooh. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, Lucy on a table.
Lucy,
We'll make it us.
what are you doing?
Lucy on a table. So she's there home now. And that's the end of that. Shortly after, on the 6th, I spent the day with my darling. I felt bad since she was having a rough week at that time with school and family, so I went to church with her to make it less bad. She kind of gets kidnapped there every week and forced to take notes and ask what she learned like it's some school assignment no one is excited to do. I guess it was like I had the power of Christ in me or something, because when we went in that day, she didn't have to take notes this time. She could just chill, enjoy the sermon, like anyone would hope to, I guess. So that's nice. And B, this one bitchy devil lady, Linda, that everyone hates, wasn't there. She likes to pry into Hannah's life and decide how we should do things together, and what we should or shouldn't do. And oh, don't let him cuddle you this way, or do this with you, or tempt you into anything, but shut the fuck. You don't know how many times I've already smashed this one. Yeah, blah, 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 but she's annoying. No one at church likes her, since she believes that Jesus is a lost and misguided child, and she will be the one to set him straight, help him out. Weird, but okay, lady, you're definitely not like an egotistical narcissist or anything by the sounds of it. That's how it's normal. We went to Jill and George's house afterward, which was the first time for me, but oh fuck, bro. Look, they're nice people and all, but no chance they're watching this. I'm sorry if they are, but holy shit, bro. Their house is a mess. I can't. It's like they just moved. Dude, there's random boxes and shit just all over the floor, everywhere downstairs, and when I first walked in, I was hit by some horrendous smell that was made even worse with whatever meat I was smelling, because, you know, your boy is a vegetarian, and somehow it got worse when we went upstairs. George's room door was left open, I could smell that gamer smell. Total hot garbage, bro. Worse than the time Landon played for nearly 12 hours straight on Siege and had to throw his chair out because it smelled that shit. I'm kind of joking with bro's story, but not George. Holy fuck. There were more random things all throughout the room. Like, I think we barely could get the door open because there was shit in front of it too. It was so bad. These people have lived in that house for years, just in a sea of garbage and boxes everywhere. I don't know how they live like that on a daily basis. I didn't want to be there long for all those reasons, like the shitty smells, the mess of everything randomly bleeding out. Smells wasn't all just from whatever they had out, but also the meat that was just out, because it was really bad for me. Completely putrid, you know, your boy just eats meat, it's disgusting. But luckily I wasn't there for very long. We played some reverse Monopoly game, a round of Uno, which I won both of those games somehow. Lucky me, I think I may have left Jill a little tilted. And before leaving, I got to watch George attempt the Devil's Toe challenge, where he successfully sucked on Satan's hot ass toe for 5 whole minutes. His strategy was to not swallow any of his drool to keep withstanding the otherwise unbearable spice of the Devil's Foot. Then we finally left their house, and respectfully, I'm never stepping a foot in there again. again. I'd rather run for the hills, but yeah, luckily after all that, we ended the night with a Q sleepover at my house. That was nice. Going on to March 14th, this was an awkward moment that had me feel like the world was ending because of some drama with my mom, just because Hannah failed to say hi to her as soon as she came home from work, and oh, how dare she be so interested in my game and me playing. It was a new All Things Wicked chapter for Dead by Daylight. She was just watching me play because she was invested, but all that has long passed, and I showed some characters standing up to my mom for her, I guess. As a little note from August me here, I feel like this moment changed things going forward. I feel like my mom's a lot more calm nowadays, and has been for a while if things would go wrong. Like, she still yells about it, gets it off her chest, but she just, it's kind of just done after that. She lets it all out and it's over. And if we have a disagreement or something go wrong between us, we talk about it, we explain our sides, what we could have done, thought process, and we find a way to meet in the middle. Like, things kind of just go better nowadays. Something is just is very different since that day in March that happened, and honestly I'm pretty grateful for it. It's much better than what it used to be, which was more one-sided stuff and her yelling completely about why she thinks we sucked and how we're completely wrong in the situation. And fast forward to my birthday yet again. I never planned anything prior, so there was no party again. I just hung out and turned $19 Fortnite card. And memeing aside, I don't know if this is about to become a passionate rant or not, but it is sad I haven't planned anything for myself and did some real birthday things these last 2 years. Hell, even when I turned 15, that was the year when COVID had hit and shut everything down, Mom and I still found a workaround, and we made the best out of it. Some friends had come over to the house, we still had a great time. The next 2 years still had some sort of COVID effect going on, but plans had still been made, and I did something with my birthday. And now, ever since I've hit adulthood here, 18 and 19th party is just non-existent. And I hate to say that I felt like I was starting to become one of those people that treat their birthdays like it's just another day. It's sad to me, and I want to change that next year, because that is how I'm currently feeling with my birthdays nowadays. It's just another day, because birthdays are supposed to stand out. They're supposed to be special and really leave behind a good time, not just an average Joe Schmo day, not just an average Joe Schmo day. Like, I want something special out of this. Sorry. Anyways, in April, finally locked in and worked hard on finishing up last year's year review. And by the 25th, I finally completed it, and it came out for all to see. That was a nice burden off my chest after weighing me down for so long. And hopefully future me can post this one within a natural timeline, right? Right? Yeah, that being said, it is just really hard to do these now. I look back at my first year review for 2020. It was complete garbage. I only gave the bare bones analysis and then went straight into talking about my YouTube channel for over 10 minutes. Ain't no one gonna listen to that. I do these reviews now more so for myself, to be able to look back and accurately remember things that happened in my life over the years. It's nice to share these things with you guys too, but if it for some reason ever becomes some sort of problem, I'll just hide them, keep these to myself. My memory isn't always the strongest, and I find this to be a nice way to remember most, if not all, the things I've done throughout the years. Sometimes I do forget things, unfortunately, and even putting them in the year review vids, I'd forget. So for example, I don't know if I mentioned this back in 2022's year review, but I don't have the time to go check. In October, there was a Halloween party my friend Jayla threw, and it was pretty fun. But what stood out the most back then was how I redeemed myself, I guess. I fixed a sort of childhood wound through one of these games we played. We had played a lot of time-based games that were fun, but the most important one here that stood out where we needed teams of 3. I believe I was with Jayla and Cernesia, or it was Jayla and Serenity, but this game was the one with the toilet paper mummy game, where you kind of just have 2 people wrap one person up in toilet paper as fast as possible. I didn't hesitate to volunteer as mummy, because back at around 4th grade or maybe 3rd, sometime in my JFK years, I'm not sure, I was a part of this game too, but after being completely wrapped up, I found it difficult to breathe, and so little me getting scared just started to randomly cry without explaining why to anyone yet. And I was unwrapped while I recall this one girl being annoyed with me for crying, saying to her mom, "Why couldn't I be wrapped up?" And one memory has always stuck around me in some way, and on that day, that 2022 Halloween party, I knew it was time to patch up that childhood memory. and be able to release it once and for all in a way. You know, the good ending. So I waited. They wrapped me up, and with a bright smile, almost tearing, when I heard the okay to break free. I thought of that moment again. I whispered to myself, it's okay, there's no need to go back there anymore, and I proudly shredded through the toilet paper. It's a pretty big moment for me, and also my team won because they mummified me faster than the other two teams we went against. And I, again, don't recall if I included that in the video or not, but I don't think I did. I don't know, I don't have time to go check. I had most likely forgotten to, which was almost tragic because that was a big core memory for me. That's why I like to make these reviews, and I try my best to remember everything and that had happened and include it all in the video. A couple notes here and there for future me, I guess, but not a lot. And anyways, now that I got that out of the way, made sure I included that in case I didn't 2 years ago. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Let's go back to 2024. So yeah, April, I finally finished the last year's year review. I feel bad that it was as late as it was because, you know, despite having a bit of work, like actual work, job work, it was basically my own fault for spending so much time playing games instead of locking in. I'll try to be better. As for the rest of April, somewhere in the middle of the month, I came back to Doors for the first time in forever because, interestingly, Sully wanted to play it. He used to hate it and never made it past Door 20, but thanks to the streamer Queso, you all know who he is already, he doesn't need any introduction. My man's got invested in the game, and now he knows way more than I ever did about the game and its lore, I think. We beat the -50 door area where this thing called Haste tries to kill you if you run out of time, and I almost made it in the A1000 rooms challenge thing. I died somewhere in 600, 700 though. It feels like I got completely scammed from how I died, but Sully was able to persevere and he made it all the way to A1000, completing the challenge on his own. I haven't even looked at Doors since that day, but it does kind of bother me I never beat it alongside him, or just, you know, haven't beaten it in general yet. I just haven't had the spare time in my day to go for it because it takes like 2 to 3 hours just to have one run going. Like, it is a big time commitment. April 28th was a fun day though. It was our 1 year 4-month anniversary for me and Teddy. For this anniversary day, we went to the mall and I got to dress her up as a goth girl. I picked out clothes to dress her up in a goth girl outfit, which is a pretty unique idea, huh? It's pretty fun. She loved the fit though. I love it too, that's why I picked it. We spent the day together, and then I remember ending it off by watching Aladdin together, which was one of my favorite Disney movies as a kid that I haven't seen in forever. And then when I went home, I ended up staying up till like 5 a.m. because, you know, FNAF. May started out pretty great. On the 7th, I went to my first ever furry convention. Yeah, it's been 3 years since I first became one, and while it started from that old creation crew, those motherfuckers that took my life on a bit of a detour, I still like the whole thing, honestly. I'm pretty chill with it. I may not be super passionate about it, but the whole being a furry thing is something I still love and enjoy. So that's where I stand with that as of now. Like, I still like it. And I took my girlfriend to the convention was called Fur the Weekend over at the Gyat sorry, the Hyatt Hotel. My god, bro. They totally need to change their name in this day and age. It's called the Hyatt Hotel. It may as well be Gyat. But yeah, the Hyatt Hotel. It was me, my girlfriend, Riley, and her best friend, I think named Logan, all went together to spend time. We didn't all carpool. It was like Riley arrived in a separate car with them, but it doesn't matter. We all went there, spent some time. And I didn't know fur conventions did this, by the way, but yo, holy shit, look at this. Look at this, bro. I know it's censored by the owner, but that is still so wild to me that this is just up here, and this is a place where anyone, like kids 13 plus can come here. Yo, I couldn't imagine bringing a future Danny or Melody to a convention like this and them asking me what this is. Like, fuck dude, why is this on public display? Please help. I don't know if this is okay. So aside from that fuckery, yeah, it was a good time. I bought some stickers. Brought my onesie since it was the only closest thing I had to a fursuit. I got some pics with other suitors, which my girlfriend completely forced me to go interact with. But yeah, it was worth it. We played some cards with a random group of furs. Saw all sorts of cool stuff, I guess, and after a couple hours, that was it. I haven't seen Riley in person since then. I hope to soon again, but that's all stuff. I can't do English to save my life. And I had to end the day going to work, unfortunately. So then May comes around, and on the 12th, ignoring the fact that I apparently stayed up for a full 24 hours, not sure why, it was Mother's Day, and since we absolutely suck as kids, we don't really know what to get her that she'd actually like. We spent the time together watching a good family movie night. Wish I could remember the movie we watched, but you know, at least it was a good night. There was no drama or anything. Everyone just had a nice chill time. And the 16th was me and Landon's last day pulling up to his personal tutor named Dave. All these weeks and months of going every Thursday in the morning is now coming to an end, and it feels weird knowing it's over now, but I enjoyed the journey. It's been a long way and so much has happened in my life since that first day, but now he'll just be a memory. I had brought my girlfriend along too, having a sleepover prior to this, since Dave was curious, and I was more than happy to just like, yeah, you know what, last day I'm gonna bring her over. You get to see her. So when we got to his place, he shook hands with my girl, and then we followed him to this local diner he lives by. And we was just shooting this shit, you know. We talked about life and some crazy stories we had. It was pretty epic and pleasant. The craziest story I remember Dave telling was about how he dodged an insurance scam from these two black guys that rear-ended him with a big truck. And they came out apologizing like, oh, sorry, we'll fix it if you just step out of your car and give us your insurance info. Yeah, I had never thought of something like that being like in the realm of possibility. It sounds like something out of a horror movie, because they were doing this to Dave and all, you know, they were trying to steal his car was the end goal. They're like, here, step out, give us your insurance info so we can fix your car, then we're gonna like beat the fuck out of you and steal your car, you know. Like, I'm glad he got the fuck out of there though. He never stepped out of the car and didn't listen to a word they said. Like, as soon as they started blabbering, he just ran a red light and got out of there. I'm glad he did, and I'm glad he told us that. So now you guys too, you know about that danger as well. Watch out for an insurance scam where they'll rear-end you, ask you to get out the car, and then presumably steal your car. Man, now you guys know about that as well, for absolutely free. The only cost I ask is you subscribe if you haven't already. After I had a stuffed French toast, we got some last day pics. Went back to his house for a little more, and we said our goodbyes. This is the second time I've split and told someone have a nice life, and it still feels so odd, but that's how it actually is, as we may never see each other again. He was such a sweet old man, and I'll never forget him. First time was with his kid named Brian. I liked in 11th grade. We were chill. He was a part of me and Chris. Like, we were pretty chill together. But long story short, we had our time together. Then we graduated, and I only saw him one other time at my job. I checked him out. We had a short talk, and then we said our piece. And we were both like, wow, this is weird as fuck, but this is how it goes, I guess. And then we both said have a nice life, and never saw him again. Then on the 19th, my family, girlfriend, and I did something really fun. We went to this surprise circus event called the Paranormal Fuck, sorry. Speak Anglais, Evan, speak Anglais. I had no idea what it could entail, but when we got there, we started with this like haunted house, all maze.
Everyone's in there dead. I left the girl behind. I didn't mean to. I might have to go back in there for it.
It was really well made, and the costumes were sick as hell, like 10 out of 10. My family was lagging behind, and everyone kind of just froze at this bit where there was this chainsaw-wielding clown that was standing along the path ready to chase us. I basically got pushed forward and had to jog a little bit because he was going to chase. But unfortunately, I ended up leaving my already terrified girlfriend behind. Like, she was freaking out. She was about to have a panic attack. No, she was already having one. Luckily though, my dad had noticed, like, he was still around, and he noticed how bad she was panicking, and he helped her out of there the same I would have, making it to the end together. So after nearly wanting to strangle me back there, we all sat together in like these top bleachers, and basically we watched a bunch of thick-ass goth girls flying around doing acrobatics. This is definitely not what I had in mind for what was going on, but I'm definitely not complaining either. It was an entertaining show. There was this bit where one of the spectators was pulled out into the middle and he was humiliated a little bit, but in a good way. You know, like, it was a good laugh for everyone still. He didn't mind too much, I guess. I would strongly recommend going to one of these when they do their shows again. Like, it was absolute delight. They actually did really cool stuff. I'd say other than all the times there were like these level 9 Gats flying and jiggling around the entire stage. My favorite displays was one of the first ones with this rip dude on a motorbike driving it around on a freaking tightrope with a goth girl on his shoulder, and they were doing a bunch of cool shit. They were like doing spins with it on the tightrope. Like, the motorbike was spinning around, not in place, but like around the rope, spinning around the tightrope, like just sending it. I wish I had videos, but I respected the rules in the beginning, and I may not have anything to show for it, but I'll see if I can find something from when some of my family members did. But yeah, they did some cool ass tricks. My second favorite, or should almost be first, I don't know. I didn't rank these, but one of the final ones this dude did while he was inside this circular doohickey thing. It was like rotating counterclockwise, and he freaked us all out when he got outside this hamster wheel looking off, and he did jumps and shit on it. Especially when he brought out a freaking jump rope. This man, when he started using it, everyone had seen it. He nearly tripped like twice while going down, and he had to catch himself. That shit was scary. However, that could have low-key also been part of the plan, just to scare us all, but who knows. Like, that looked really close. I was about to move on, but something almost slipped out of my mind. I'm about to talk about a Roblox game that matters to me. May 10th, I hopped onto OG Jailbreak. They brought back the map from 2019. It was an event in the lore here where we traveled back in time to beat some alien takeover or something. It's done as a nice surprise gift for the fan base, and we traveled all the way back to 2019. This was hella nostalgic for me, as 2019 happened to have been such a good year and still remains as one of my favorites. Now we're back in prime Jailbreak during the golden 2019 years. I played a lot of it to really feel it all. While Sully did play some on his final days, I'll just say now, like, 2019 Jailbreak is really nostalgic and nice. I loved playing it, glad to be there. But 2024 JB is so much better. Like, by a landslide. Gameplay wise is not even close, man. But I still loved, of course, every moment I had being back in the old Jailbreak, like it was 2019 again. I teared up a couple times, not gonna lie. Shit was very nostalgic. And we rediscovered some old things that I'd completely forgotten about that existed in the old game. And that just about closes out May for the time. Also, thank you guys for 600 subscribers during that time. That was pretty huge. We're like halfway to 700 now as well. June doesn't really have much. All I have as a note for June is on the 19th, which also happened to be my sister's birthday. I ended up dipping because something was going down back at the house, and I went to go to my girlfriend instead, just to chill because things were happening. And we ended up going with her aunt and uncle to go see Inside Out 2, which I really enjoyed. There's not really much for June. Keep that short and skip to July there. Oh, and actually, last thing for June, because of course this is worth putting in, but one night at the end of a work shift, I was so comfy with my Duolingo rank lead. I was actually aghast to find that someone quickly climbed the ranks and was coming for my throne. So I sat in the parking lot for nearly an entire hour trying to keep the lead that I used all my hearts, and was using gems too. I had over 15,000 gems for timed sessions just to fight and keep the lead, but it wasn't enough. I spent literally everything that I had there, and I lost my diamond rank 1. Truly tragic. Like right before our 7-day trip in North Carolina, because that really was about it, my highlight of June, other than just gaming and whatnot. Just one bad day turned into a really good day thanks to my amazing girlfriend and just watching a movie with her family. Yo, W. Roscoe. So yeah, anyways, as for July, 7 days before our North Carolina trip, we went down to Kid Street Park for a bit, where I got to yap a whole bunch about all sorts of stories and childhood memories I have down here with my girlfriend. Carried her around a bit. It was pleasant. I enjoyed it there. And then eventually our trip began on the 6th. And this year was kind of wild. So I'm glad I got to exercise a whole bunch in the house like I wanted to, because I took advantage of that. I just wanted to do it while it's like an AC house, and I did. But before we ever got in our first day, But before we actually ever even got in the house, the first day sucked. Like, there was no first day. We lost the first fucking day. For whatever reason, maintenance pulled up to the house right as they delayed it being open for us, right? So, like, we're about to roll up to the house at the time and all, but then they text us like, yo, wait, maintenance needs another moment. So we needed to go back somewhere in a dock. We just had to find a place to chill for now, because they had to go back in, clean it again, or some I don't know. That entire first day we were supposed to have just, you know, a random parking lot with this random thing to go cool down in. You know, like tables and shit you'd see at a park, or where you'd be going for like a nice little picnic. And above had like sprinklers to help cool you down. Very, very, very light amount of water coming out, even lighter than mist. There's water there, but can't really get too soaked unless you stand under it for a long while. But you know, you get what I'm trying to describe. So yeah, we had to go. We just like went there, and the entire day is that was it. That was fucking it. For 8 whole hours, that is what we did. I caught my girlfriend up on the Friday Night Funkin' corruption lore from this channel in Phantom Fear that I was really into, and to this day still am, just not as hyped because it's a lot of waiting. But yeah, dude, that's how you know we were bored. We had all the time in the world to start her from the very beginning all the way up to where we're at now. And after a long, boring ass day, we finally got in the house. I had this insane blood rush to just quickly carry everyone's shit in there and just like get settled as quick as possible, especially the heavier things, because I'm Himothy, and I went out to the sound first thing to relax, like almost nap even. As soon as we finally got all of our shit in there, bathing suit, out in the water, and there it was. The next day we went back out there. I cut my poor foot. Ooh, yeah. Now I remember this. I forgot about this initially. I was carrying Hanny around in my arms, and all of a sudden, one of my next steps going out there just landed on either a sharp rock or a shell or something, and it left a deep-ass cut in my foot for a while, like a couple days, even a week or two. Like, it sucked. Of course, now it's long gone and healed up fully, but damn, that shit was brutal. Day 3, I somehow got invested in this 500-piece puzzle that her mom, my girlfriend's mom, of course, Julie, started to whip out and accomplish, and also the aunt here started to join up. I joined along, helped finish it up, and then we played some Uno, humbled her and Jill in some rummy. Finished the day out by me showing Annie a channel I still follow that does Friday Night Funkin' corruption videos. The story is still going strong after all these years, and I got her all caught up from the very beginning. Oh yeah, I was just saying that. Yeah, the Phantom Fear guy. We then got to actually end the night by going to the beach for a memento. Get a good look at the stars. I don't know, I haven't seen stars this clear and this lit up in a long time. Shit back at home is just not the same. Light pollution really is a menace, dude. These days, when I go out and look at the sky, you never really see much. Like, you're lucky to get a decent chunk of stars in the sky. Could you just imagine how many people in shinier places like New York live? I want to see something like that, they just can't. God damn, shit sucks. Anyways, the 4th day, we finally went back out to the beach, and the waves were amazingly beautiful. I'm glad to finally be back in the water where I belong there. Very huge and eventful, just honestly some been missing out on all summer long, because this was one of my first times going to the beach. I feel like there's a sandbar out there, because I kept seeing waves preemptively rising up, crashing, and then forming new ones where they should. But your boy never tried to go out for it without concrete proof, because pussy. But I'm pretty sure there was one out there. No one else tried either. I did end up a little sunburned, unfortunately, though, but it was hardly affecting me. It turned out fine. 6 hours later, we came back for a bit before seeing the sunset out on the docks, and then looking out at more stars back on the beach once more. We were getting a lot of star seeking this year, and I was not complaining. Final day, I can't really I have hiccups. You can't make this shit up. I haven't had hiccups for days, and when I'm here to voice this important thing that I've been slacking on, I get hiccups. You can't make this shit up. I'm going to crash out. The final day, I can't really recall much, but before me, my girl, her mom, and aunt all left, we rewatched
Shrek, the movie, while I was trying to not let the refrigerated goods go to waste. Then with one more sweep around the house, we were out and on the way home. This year's trip was still enjoyable, and yet it felt like it was really missing something. Some sort of charm, I guess. Like, that last year, I'm not sure. Like, maybe it was the fact Jennifer couldn't come with us, or perhaps the rough start, but regardless, I ended up falling asleep after the ferry ride, which felt longer than before. I don't know why, and it was more like we were on a subway train with the AC room we had access to and the lighting. Now, I don't know what it is with trips and me sleeping, but it's just never allowed. It doesn't mix. Nearly every time I fall asleep on a ride back from somewhere, something almost happens. It's like a curse. I'm not supposed to snooze. And this time it turned out something horrible happened. Shocker. There was some metal object with strings on the road. Not sure how I turned those glues into a banjo in my head before, but yeah, some metal things with strings was just out there in the middle of the road. Never found out what it was to this day, by the way. And all of a sudden, I woke up to the sound of just screaming and a huge bump from the car. Hitting the object jolted all of us up, and I almost banged my head on the ceiling, I think. I didn't make a sound, but my girlfriend woke up screaming, as was her mom, while quickly getting off to the side of the road. We had to hit that mysterious object, and it did a serious number on her car. Jill managed to avoid it and drove up behind us, not sure how. And it had flattened 2 of Julie's tires and messed up the axis, you know, something related to the wheel and the steering. But unfortunately, we weren't the only ones to go through this same fate, as multiple other cars were running into this thing, not well visible, on the road and just going through numerous damages. Like, one dude also got his tires popped and slashed. Another got their like oil mileage ripped out or something from the object, like underneath. And a dude's tire got completely ripped off, clean off, to where their rim was lighting up and making sparks on the road. Supposedly, one of the drivers, I think it was the guy who lost his tire, suffered a shatter in their shoulder. There was a total of about 12 cars that had something happen. Now, our car, or even us individually, seeing all these cars start to appear on the side of the road, it was just off-putting. This felt so surreal. And what made things worse was her mom unable to calm down, like just constantly letting out her words, like swearing like a hell of a boss character, and stressing out to the point where she felt something was happening to her heart. She was tweaking way too much. We eventually end up in an ambulance ride with volunteers that seemed pretty acquainted with their line of work and more than happy to help. Shoutouts to this one guy that was just going around from car to car. No injuries, barely anything happened to his car, just like checking up on all of us, making sure people were okay. WW dude. And that's the reason the ambulance arrived, when she started to like tweak out about her heart, and he just like, alright, call this woman an ambulance. After a few hours, she's okay, luckily, and we ended up going to some nearby hotel to stay the rest of the night after we left the hospital room. And in case I never mentioned it, we're still several hours away from home. Like, we're stuck in Virginia for the time. Also, weird mention, but I just have to. We got to a hotel room with the intent on catching up on some Z's, you know, just getting that quality sleep. Somehow I was the only one who slept, and I sound like a dickhead writing this, actually. Like, I guess I'm just better at staying calm. Yeah, Hannah and Jill were too shaken up, unfortunately, and too busy constantly thinking about what just happened and everything that they just couldn't sleep. Even though they were tired, they just couldn't sleep. But I don't know, me personally, the bed was just too comfy and soft. I was actually out in seconds of laying down. I randomly bring this up, apparently though, because even after Jolie is free from the hospital and comes back to us, they were supposed to sleep and prepare for the rest of the ride back, and yet eventually when we did, Jill told us she needed a Monster energy drink from the back of the car that she had, or else she was just gonna pass out and crash. So what the fuck? What were you doing instead of sleeping for the last 9 hours? Oh yeah, I don't know, by the way. Doing some puzzle game on our phone, because when I did peek in the room from time to time to just like get something, I left like things here and there. Whatever the reason was, I came back in the room. I saw this bitch on her phone playing a puzzle game. You're supposed to be sleeping. Our lives will be in your hands momentarily. What the fuck are you doing? So while Jolie tried reading on her tablet to sleep, it had little success.
Jill here.
You're just doing puzzle games, not giving a single flying fuck. Oh yeah, and as I look back at some notes to make sure everything's accurate here, Jill was flexing she'd been awake for way more than 24 hours and sounded proud of it when I got dropped off at home finally. Yeah, she's like almost threatening us with falling asleep in the car. Like we had to go digging around in the back to find that energy drink. Like if she didn't get some of that pink monster energy power, like she was gonna fall asleep on us. Fuck. Doesn't even try to sleep. Proudly announces she's been up for 24 plus hours now. And then at the end of the entire ride, 48 hours in total. Demanding an energy drink while driving or else. What a weird, like that had me kind of heated, I can't lie. Anyways, during the time we were stuck there and they were trying to sleep, which they weren't, me and Hanny went adventuring a little. We went to a nearby pizza place, had some food, ran back as it started to rain to the hotel room. It was raining quite a bit. Hours later, Jolie's car still isn't quite fixed yet, so she stays at a better hotel with a bar and a pool. Pretty epic for us, as the three of us drove home safe and sound in Jill's car, at least for the most part, because you know how that shit went. As I get the things I was able to bring back out of her car, she proudly declares she's been awake for 48 hours straight. At this point, you know, we know this, I mentioned that there. We say bye, step inside my house, and that was how this year's July trip went. Unfortunately, I don't have much else for July, so right into August 2nd, my family and I arrived on our Wildwood trip. Lots of trips this year, yes. It was for our parents' anniversary this time. We jumped straight into the beach when we got there. We still had to wait 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours for them to actually check into our room, or what, for us to check into the room. Wildwood this year is a nice nostalgia trip. Everything that was there for me before, I'm just way too old for now, sadly. We returned to the indoor pool area after a little beach trip. It had these 2 slides still with no one around. Me and Land just said fuck it, and we got in the tall ass parkour playground thing just for a little dose of nostalgia. All the memories of before just flooding back with me and Landon talking about infectious tag and all the games we'd play with all the other kids that'd be here and all the friends that we used to know. It'd been very chaotic times, and I got to explore every inch of the place before some lady from the pool was quick to report me and Landon out to this other lady that had just come back from a bathroom break or something. Bitch. Oh, that big dumb man is going to hurt absolutely nobody that's inside there right now. He must get out now before he fully revisits every part of it. Bruh. Getting to the top brought back the most memories for me. Hiding out from all the other kids in here is like our little watchtower. And I was talking to this one dude before we heard like intense screaming just really close and not knowing who the fuck was it or not. So immediately the first kid that just crawled up there screaming, we just came flying down the slide that was nearby. I did it just like back then, just went down there, and I knew coming down that slide I didn't actually revisit everything, every nook and cranny I wanted to, but I did get like 90% of it, so it was good enough for me. Pool was still enjoyable too, but you know, I'm 19 now. I'm not like the 14/15-year-old me. This is more than like 5 foot deep. It wasn't very intimidating no more. I made the most of my time there and even went on a random challenge down the tube slide to stop myself from moving down it. It sounded easy to me on paper, but I quickly found out how stupid difficult it was. It took all my strength just to try and slow down, and even on the first run where I did fully stop moving, the water felt stronger and just pushed me down eventually anyway. On the final day of the trip, I did manage to fully stop relatively early too, and just being able to chill where I was in the slide for as long as I wanted to, it felt nice. I didn't stay there long, of course, but challenge complete. At some point, my brother and I remembered there's an outdoor pool area somewhere. Despite all the times we've been to Wildwood in this specific hotel, we've never actually seen the outdoor pool before, so without asking where it was, we raced around the hotel to hunt it down and then immediately got met with disappointment, I'm afraid. Because when we finally found it, it was very long and with only 4 foot deep at best. And in case you couldn't tell by now, your boy and his boy really enjoyed deep pools in our trips, so oh well, I guess. Look, it was long, but it only went 4 foot deep. Like, not very exciting. We had a cool room with a nice balcony view, but we moved to a different one on the last day because there'd been many, like, ants. We had a whole army of ants in the kitchen, I believe, as well as Mom saying bed bugs were taking over or something. I can't say for sure because I had to sleep on the couch the other 2 nights with my teddy pillow, and it actually came in clutch. I'm glad I brought it. Roscoe, shut the fuck up! The trip was pleasant. Being out in the waves each day in the pool and hot tub, you know, it was all nice. We had a good time, but the last day was kind of rough. I won't go into much detail, but basically for future me, history repeated itself again. I don't know why, but Dad decided what happened once wasn't good enough, so he had to make it happen again, I guess. Way to go, Dad. By some miracle, we were able to get pictures with a bunch of fake smiles and then go out to eat and had a much better 22nd anniversary. Things got a lot better after that, at least. But yeah, that was basically about it. I enjoyed my runs on the beach, my time spent in the water. Lan joined me for a couple of them. That was pretty cool. And this happened to be the same time my FNAF phase got lit back up again. Like, while on vacation, I reinstalled the core 4 games I previously bought, thanks to this YouTuber named The Bones 5, who got randomly recommended in my algorithm for his 6-hour FNAF 1 video. I'm not sure why, but YouTube was like, here, you'll probably like this guy, and I did. I just got so invested by the beginner-friendly commentary and his style. It's like if Jamon at his peak for like every video, I guess. I enjoyed it, and I'm still watching him to this day. Anyways, that was about it for Wildwood and the rest of August. There was a certain mall night I'm reminding myself of, but it's nothing. Now, before actually moving on to September, I did want to give a quick mention to a little cool thing at the end of August here, the end of our Sigma realm. This was just a realm me and the boys had for a hot minute, and it was pretty fun to play on. Just a quick shout out to remember this. It was a special little realm we had for a bit, but then the owner couldn't afford to keep it going, so it was the end, and we celebrated the last day. Played a bunch of games that we set up. Like, we had a raceway with boats on the ice. We also had like a fill-in blocks kind of. We had a bunch of games set up that were really cool and fun to play as a way to celebrate the final day. I could have sworn I had like a whole stream dedicated to it, or Soli did as well, or maybe a tour, I don't know, something out there. But yeah, then we buried ourselves and said goodbye to the realm. And also, here's a clip of my unfortunate death on the second to last day of the realm. September started off incredibly well. On the 1st, my mom wanted to take me out for a mom date as a reward for driving my siblings, whether grateful or not, to all their spots and activities all summer long. So she took me to the massage place 40 minutes away that she usually goes to, and I got it good. I got a little pedicure for my feet. Then I was taken to an hour, maybe even longer, of absolute heaven. The massager named Kay, mwah, beyond amazing, dude. She did me so good, head to toe. I really lost track of time and where I was. I just felt like I was in this perpetual bliss, and with how good it all felt. When it was all over, after what delightfully felt like forever, just eternity, I felt like a new person. Like I was in a new body and a new me even. Kay deserves some fat paychecks for her work, dude. She's incredible. Insane. It is so good. She doesn't speak much English, but I hope she could understand how much I loved her service. After that super long and relaxing ass massage, my mom took me to a nearby grill place for us to eat together at. She was just talking about anything and everything that came to mind. I haven't had such a good time with my mom like that, and a good one-on-one in just so long. Haven't really seen my mom too much these days with work. I'll see her by the time I'm heading out, and especially with the new part-time job I'm starting, I'm going to be home even less. So I'm really grateful to have had this moment with my mom. It's just a good day. I'm glad we had the time. I love her so much. After the food, we went home and had a stress-free day, thankfully. The next day, got back on Roblox Doors era. I haven't played the game since this year's April Fool's mode, and before that, last year's April Fool mode. Like, I kind of just left the game in the dust. I was like, okay, I beat it once. OG rock bottom here. And, yeah, that was it. Sully put it back on my radar, though, announcing his hype for the new Floor 2 update that was moments away from releasing, which I didn't even know about. We played some Dead by Daylight, Floor 2 came out, and we played the new Floor Blind and had a lot of funny deaths. If I light this lighter...
I still don't understand this room. Oh my god! 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 Gavin, move. Dude. Gav, I think he's dead. He's dead.
And just Gavin dying to the minecart on door 2 every single run. Recently, before playing Floor 2, we happened to go back and finally beat the rooms. It felt good to finally getting that knocked out of the park. I hadn't touched the rooms in months, and I felt bad I never had actually beaten it, so yeah, that was good. I felt so scammed the way I died close to the end. Like, it took a while, of course, but I can gladly say I put that achievement to rest after 5 months of leaving it behind. And no, I was not a Door 999 victim. This month had been some gamer-related achievements, so let's keep it going. On the 11th, with relative ease, I beat Hotel Hell on my main account, and somehow Rush never appeared until the gardens, where he's of course guaranteed to spawn, which was kinda odd. It was pretty light in Hotel Hell. It was mine for the first time. It was kinda easy. I don't know why, my luck was just that good. Next week on the 15th, me and the absolute goat solely locked in for the long haul and beat the gauntlet. It is the Doors challenge we named, where you go through all the floors, all 1,250 doors in one sitting. Yep, we did it. We can say we frickin' did it. We had a total death count of 3 in the winning run, but that's okay. I had no choice but to keep going to find a lever in the back rooms. Slowly died. I think bro died on the end of floor 1 at door 102. And then I died in the seek chase somehow. I just overextended the jump. Unfortunately, I was going too fast.
Well. Wait, oh.
Man, yeah, I haven't seen anyone else do this deathless, and frankly, as much as we wanted to, it ain't worth the time. I've seen 2 other channels do this only. By now, I imagine there's more, but I would like to say me and my boy Zoe are the 3rd channel to officially do this, so haha. And yeah, I mean, no one has done this deathless yet. And as much as we wanted to, it just, yeah, it's not worth the time. We don't feel like doing all that again. To say we did it without dying, we could, but fuck that. We tried while I had my stick drift era, and yeah, the deaths were not. Then that was actually it for September. Went on some runs and workouts here and there, but I didn't do much else with the month, and that was it. Unfortunately, that's kind of this year as a whole. I just didn't do a whole lot. October had been a fun ride, though. I partook in the Inktober challenge, progressing that day by day, and on the 4th, after 2 weeks of attempts, I beat Hotel Hell again for my Mac account. Like, I was going for all these achievements on my other accounts just because. Weird flex, but okay. I don't know why, but the damn entities hated me this time around. My luck was so shit. Like, around most of my runs, I was getting attacked, felt like just constantly all the time. I especially felt powerless when they whipped out the Wombo combo on me. I had some other modifiers on this time, and sometimes it'd be ambush and A90 attacking at the same time, and there was nothing I could do about it. Like, that all sucked. But hey, after enough bad luck with some other anticlimactic runs, I had finally beaten it again. Then right in the middle of the month, your boy landed himself back at UPS on October 15th as a preloader. Ooh. Funny, not so fun fact about this is the same exact date they freeze your working days, and you need 30 of those to be considered in the union. So as I rate and voice this at the start of the new year, I only have 1 day under my belt. Yeah, spoiler alert. Hello, this is me 20 days later. Yeah, I'm not in there anymore. But yeah, I was back in UPS for the long run while still working at ShopRite. A job early in the morning and late at night. How bad could it be? Yeah, how was I managing that? Not very strong, actually. It was pretty rough. In fact, that only the 2nd week in, I must have slept through my only alarm because I never heard it and managed to wake up half an hour later needing to just take a piss. So not long after I gave my 2 weeks notice, was able to dip out in just a week and took my leave from ShopRite. The last day there was anticlimactic. It was really anticlimactic from my expectations. Just another forgettable day, I'm afraid. and boring, and no one knew or cared really that I was moving on from this place, but that's okay, I guess. Sad, but fine. Like, what did I expect? The only member there from day one being the GOAT, Javen. I didn't have my chance to say goodbye to him today because he wasn't here, but he's the only dude that has been there still after all these years working there. Yeah, I mean, I talked to some people, I missed some of the OGs, and I clocked out, walked out, took a nice look at the sky. It was all lit up from the bright moon and some stars. I said goodbye to ShopRite officially on that night, November 2nd. And fun fact, I had worked at ShopRite for exactly 2 years, 2 months, 2 weeks, and 3 days.
Oh shoot, and I almost did actually forget something real quick, but Halloween, you know, we actually didn't do entirely nothing for that. We may be 19-year-old cringe adults, but hey, I invited my girl over in her nifty costume, and we watched Halloween. I never saw a Michael Myers movie before, but that was our first time, and we get to watch it together on the couch. It was pretty sweet.
And the rest of the month was kind of just money, 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 until the 22nd, when it became even more money, money, money. When I applied for being a seasonal driver helper on top of being a warehouse worker, I had been doing the preloading and helping my dad out, except it wasn't my dad. So my average count for the day was at least like 12 to 16 hours every day. I was making big ass numbers, dude. First 2 dudes I met on seasonal made me regret taking it a bit, as if my dad led me into this as a trap, because shocker, I actually wasn't working along him. For the first couple of days, he didn't even get enough stops needed to have a helper, so I had to work with some dudes I didn't even know. First guy was sick with a COVID mask, and the second dude was chill, but his neighborhood had a bunch of uphills, rocky terrain to deal with, and it just wasn't fun. But from the 3rd day onward, I met the absolute GOAT of the whole workforce, and his name's James. Oh my god, I loved working with this guy so much. That made me not regret doing this anymore. I was able to stick with him till the very end, and my most laid back worker I've ever seen. That gave me so much and was so chill. I'm all of a sudden really glad to be in the seasonal part once more, no longer regretting it because of this guy, and it was an absolute blessing I met him, honestly. I nearly forgot to mention something toward the end of the month, November 24th. It seems oh yeah, good thing this made its way into the script. My darling and I took a trip to Hershey Park with some tickets my mom acquired for us. Epic mom for doing that. We had a great day there, revisited a couple of things, got some free candy. Despite her POTS condition, it didn't stop her from taking a couple of fun rides with me, and I absolutely loved that for us. There was only one thing I didn't get to do with her that she refused to do in fear and says she regrets apparently, but another time perhaps. It was the Hershey Kisses Tower. It's that one tower with a bunch of kisses on it, and you go like all the way up, you know. So I've only been in there once, and I really wanted to go again, but she's probably writing in the comments or in a text message right now, I'm sorry, we didn't need to go do that, I'm sorry. We ended the day with delicious milkshakes, and we drove home safe. Now it's almost over, because from here it's just non-stop grinding with my job. The holiday season peaked by a huge amount, and the next thing I know, as mentioned earlier, just hours and hours of working, usually 12 to 16. Was making good money. Unfortunately though, I was neglecting my own care a bit in order to keep thugging it out and make that money. So one fateful day, I'm afraid, on the 20th of December, 3 days away from the end of peak season, I almost made it. It was almost over. Fucking shit. I'm getting over this intense grind coming to an end. I had an accident while on the road. Throughout the week, I worked so much that while I could still have gotten decent sleep, I wanted to have my cake and eat it too, I guess. So, meaning I'd still get some gaming sessions in with the boys, even when there was just no time for it. I put some time in my Balcats accounts too, so that just resulted in like 3 to 4 hours of sleep for myself, and I kept pushing through like this for the entire month, with the weekends being my major reset days with a fat 13 to 14 hours of sleep. But yeah, throughout the rest of the week, just 3 to 4 hours. This wasn't good for me, I know. It started to become apparent when I could feel myself falling asleep on the car rides to my driver's location. Oof. Let the force guide me, I will. And on this one particular day, unfortunately, I couldn't stay awake long enough to make it to the spot and nap, like usual, until my driver arrived. Like, the strat was just make it there, nap in the parking lot till my driver comes by, and then I'm good. But nope, I couldn't do that. So while taking my exit off the highway, I lost consciousness for just a second, and the exit to this highway was like a low hill. Like, it goes down and to the right, not too hard, but kind of like hard enough. You need to be paying attention, of course, always. And well, I barely avoided a head-on collision with the trees at the bottom of this exit here. My eyes drifted. I closed them for just a second, I thought, but next thing I know, I'm at the bottom and I'm going down hella fast. So while holding the brakes, I'm trying to drift off. I'm trying to drift it right. I'm trying to stay on the road here. I'm hogging the turn for dear life, and the side of my car hit the tree so bad I'd like slid off the road just to swipe it, and then I hit the trees with the side of my car. Big
Wow,
oof. And I hoped it wasn't that much damage, but wow, it was bad. It was so bad, it ripped off some of my brake light entirely, damaged my radiator to where it was leaking, which thankfully James pointed out because I didn't even notice, and he strongly advised to head home right then and there. Also, it like popped my tire, kind of. It left a hole in my tire, but luckily it wasn't big at all because I was able to drive home and then put it in within the fence before a couple days later realizing, oh, now my tire's flat. But yeah, that was the last day I needed to go out with the driver there. If only I made it just one more time. So yeah, when my driver James got there, he advised I go home right away, and I did. This was sadly the last time that I saw him, and I didn't get to give him a proper goodbye. So I got home. Luckily, no cops saw my brake light completely fucked and taken out, and I got home, just got some rest right away. It was so close to the end. I really blew it. I'm still here, of course. I'm thankful as hell for that. Thank God himself that I didn't have a crash with another car while like blinking here, drifting, whatever. B, I'm still here breathing after this whole encounter. Afterward, they only needed driver's helper for just another day, and I was able to get a spot alongside my dad. So we finally did bring back the father-son duo after all, just for this final day. And then Christmas came around. I didn't ask for a whole lot, as genuinely I don't need anything at all. I did get some nice Jamies and a dash cam, which is the only thing I really asked for. Alongside a new controller too, as the one I'd been using before caught really bad stick drift. RIP the black controller is 2023, 2024. Just 10 months. What the And the 28th rolled up. You already know what that means. Me and my girlfriend's 2-year anniversary month together. I can't believe we've actually done it. You know, not many good things last this long for me, and I'm so happy this is one of them that I get to continue cherishing. Like, what we did for this big milestone was just reenact the first time again. I think this is gonna be our tradition to celebrate our yearly anniversaries together. We went to the mall, walked around the familiar spots like before, hold some meaning to us, like the Kohl's wait, was it Victoria's or Kohl's? Oh my god, store name. L forehead, bro, I can't even remember. Yeah, just that spot where we first kissed. I grabbed the new calendar out of it too, thanks chicken. Not long after, we watched the ball drop, and unfortunately without Landon, because he's decided to go meet some of his friends at the lake house instead of being with us for New Year's, but this is alright, I suppose. And yeah, that about concludes 2024. I don't think I'm missing a whole lot this time, hopefully. There was quite a bit that happened, but honestly, it mostly felt like a blank year with all the nothing I did in between. I was on a cycle long before UPS where I'd just wake up, mess around for a couple hours on the same exact things until most likely ShopRite came around, and then I do that, and then come home and stay awake until 4 in the morning, sometimes a little bit sooner than that, but you know, and then do it all over again. If it wasn't ShopRite, I would already be on the Xbox anyway with my boys. I don't know, I just didn't really do anything. I'm stuck in a void this year, help. It's just an odd year to say the least, I guess, but not too horrible, you know, still some good came out of it. Some pretty good ones, I'd say, and hey, we've been growing a bit here on both the YouTube and the Twitch, so I appreciate all the support there. And as of me, 2025, late January, saying this now, good shit hitting affiliate. I've been doing YouTube for over 6 years and nowhere near like anything eligible for monetization. Here I've been like grinding Twitch for the last 2 years and now I'm making money off of it. Ain't that wild? Now, hopefully I didn't forget anything again. And with that, the 2024 season comes to an end. I'll see y'all again soon.